welcome back to my channel. So we're back with Vanessa this week. 2 weeks ago we did a video on hydrocolon therapy.
All about poop.
All about poop, yeah. So if you didn't watch it, you should, because it really is informative, and I've gotten a lot of texts from my friends asking me questions about, going to Vanessa, and I have nothing but great things to say about her.
Which is very nice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So then I was talking to her about getting sleep, getting better sleep. As you guys all know, I'm in my mid-50s, and it seems like I started having problems with sleeping. It was more like in my mid-40s. So the first thing I did was run to my naturopath and get progesterone, because they say, oh, you must be lacking progesterone if you can't sleep. So that was the first thing I did. And then as the years...
And did that make a difference?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
It did probably for maybe a year or two.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And then I started having the same problem over again.
Right.
So then I started taking melatonin.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped for a while. It helped me get to sleep.
Right. But did it help you stay asleep?
For a while it did.
When you were waking up, about what time were you waking up?
3 a.m.
Oh yeah, that's the magic hour. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
The witching hour, they call it?
It is the witching hour, and I'll explain to you why later.
So that to me is so frustrating when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep. I mean, it's just, it makes you angry. And
Well,
then you can't get back to sleep because
and it becomes a stressor. It starts
Right.
to stress you out, which doesn't help you sleep.
Right, exactly. It
Yeah.
makes it worse.
Yeah.
So I did that for a while, and then I started doing magnesium, because actually that was helping me poop.
Right. It does help with that.
So I was originally taking it for that, so I could be good in the morning. But then people were saying, oh, that's also helping you sleep. Is that true?
It can be. It can be something that helps with sleep. There are some cautionary things about it. I have some clients who are taking magnesium citrate every single night. Magnesium citrate is very hard on your system. It's usually used as a purging way for someone who's gotten really constipated to break things loose. That's also a dangerous practice too. So the magnesium should come from a natural source.
Okay.
I prefer a magnesium glycinate.
Okay.
So glycinate will.
So you can look for that.
You
in
can
the
look for that,
stores.
and preferably you want it to be combined also with whole food sources of magnesium.
So is it better to get in capsules or a big jug of powder?
No, usually any kind of compressed tablet or capsule is fine.
Okay.
The one I take is in a capsule. But also magnesium is a food that's easy enough to get into your diet also. All of your rich greens are all very high in magnesium. So upping your diet and eating a more natural diet
And I do that.
You do.
Spinach every day. And
So this
broccoli
brings us
and all these things.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm still not pooping.
And not sleeping. So this brings us to the real reason Americans are not sleeping. So which is too much adrenaline. Americans are adrenaline junkies. And so we actually are one of the worst countries for not getting enough sleep. So there's a very good explanation for this, and generally starts in the teen years. We wanted to be sure to mention that.
Right.
The most sleep-deprived group of people in our country are teenagers. And oftentimes it's because they have to get up early to be to school, and then they stay up late studying, and they have a lot of pressure. And sometimes, especially if they have parents who want them to get into a certain college and be participating in all these after-school activities, these kids are worn out.
It's too much, yeah.
At a time when their body is changing almost as rapidly as a newborn infant.
Wow.
So when my kids were in high school, I let them sleep in all weekend. If they wanted to sleep the entire weekend, I did not care, because they needed the sleep. They need the sleep to grow and to change.
I never really slept in that much. I would sleep until 10, but I remember my brother sleeping until noon.
Right.
And I was like, how do you even do that?
Well, because he's still growing. When you guys were teenage
Oh
boys
God,
still grow
get
until their
up.
early 20s. I know, it's crazy.
Right. Oh my God. That's
So,
funny.
okay, let's talk about adrenal fatigue. That's what's happening with most Americans. So you can supplement things that can help you get to sleep, but not being able to stay asleep is a big part of the problem. So you talked about waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
During the biological functions of your body, that time at 3 o'clock in the morning is, in Chinese medicine, we understand that to be the liver hour. So your body does all of its heavy duty work from about 8:30 until approximately 7 o'clock in the morning. So if you're not getting to bed until 11 or so, and the liver time comes along, and you haven't had all this other rest before then, your body is not well rested enough to detoxify your liver, and that will wake you up.
Oh.
Yeah. And so then you're awake and you miss out on what we call dream time, which is when we resolve internal conflicts and help reduce our own internal stress.
Wow.
So the way to get into a better cycle is to raise your levels of serotonin. So a lot of people don't know what serotonin is. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter. You can't supplement serotonin. It's something that your body has to make. Serotonin is made by your pineal gland, which is about the size of a pea, and it is literally right in the middle of your brain. So if you drew a line between like your third eye point and the top of your head, where those intersect is where your pineal gland is.
Okay.
So the pineal gland produces serotonin when you're happy, when you're joyful, when you're having a laugh. Like if you're watching Jerry Seinfeld's latest comedy routine, which has a hilarious thing about marriage, we are laughing your guts out, you're producing serotonin.
Cool.
When you come in and have chin and song therapy with me, or a colonic, and I rub on your belly, or you rub on your own belly at night while you're laying on the floor watching TV, that also produces serotonin.
Wow.
When women talk to each other, their bodies produce more serotonin. That's why when things really go down and you need somebody to talk to, you're going to call every girlfriend you can get a hold, until you finally get a hold of someone you can talk to, because the conversation produces more serotonin.
Oh, that's awesome.
But there's a way you can naturally produce more serotonin, which is called sun gazing. We're gonna, at the end of this video, there'll be a demonstration on how to do sun gazing, but essentially you close your eyes in the morning and you look up at the sun with your eyelids closed, and you gaze at the sun for 3 to 5 minutes. Then you take a break, you do a few little putsy things, whatever, and then you do it again. If you sun gaze 2 times in the morning and 2 times in the late afternoon for 2 weeks, you will improve your serotonin production dramatically because of 2 things. The warm, bright light of the sun travels through the optic nerve and goes into the brain and stimulates the pineal gland, which will start pumping serotonin. The other thing that happens when you sun gaze is the aperture of your eye reduces to its smallest possible contraction, and that is a biological signal for your body to go out of sympathetic nervous system into parasympathetic, which is the calm and peaceful.
Okay.
So you're literally training your body to drop into the parasympathetic mode, and over time that will begin to improve your sleep dramatically.
So when you're laying there with your eyes closed, you know, I tend to kind of roll my eyes back a little bit, because it seems like it relaxes me a little bit more.
Right.
But you don't want to do that.
Don't
you want to
do
act
that.
like you're looking at the sun through your lids.
Yeah, you keep looking at the sun. The interesting thing that will happen is that when you open your eyes, you'll feel like you have sunglasses on. Everything will look blue. And then when you continue to make a regular habit of it, after the initial 2 weeks, you just do it, you know, I pretty much do it every day. But the interesting thing that starts to happen is you start not needing your sunglasses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Your eyes it makes your eyes stronger and healthier, and
that's good.
And you're not, people are sensitive to bright light because they're in the adrenal mode, and that means your pupils are dilated out to their maximum because they're
right. Wow.
We're all like this.
Very cool. Okay, so the question I have is, what is the cure for not sleeping?
Resting.
Okay.
It's not the answer most people want to hear. Like everybody says, oh no.
Like resting every day, like
resting every day. Yeah. We talked about the time. We talked about the wheel of time during the day. The time of the day around 3 o'clock in the afternoon is a natural biological low point of the day. You've been going all morning, and most of us go.
That's when I start to go. I start yawning.
Down. Yeah, you're drooping down, and that's your body's giving you.
I need a coffee. That's
when you know what you need is a nap.
Right, exactly. But I feel like I need a coffee because I have to keep working.
Because you have to keep working, and so it's important in our culture. We don't do what they do in most other countries and have basically a 2-hour break in the middle of the day.
Sure.
So if you don't have that 2-hour break, that's fine. But be cognizant of the fact that what you need more than the coffee is a rest. So literally putting your feet up for only 15 minutes and closing your eyes
Okay,
is
15
enough
minutes.
to get that going.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the step number one, is to rest more often through
Anybody
the day.
can kind of fit
Everybody
that in.
can do that.
Yeah.
Do the sun gazing. There are natural supplements, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But if you are suffering from adrenal fatigue, the cure for that is getting more sleep, which of course you're not. So then there are some supplement things that we can bring on in addition to the sun gazing that can help with that. And some of them you're already using.
So I know since I've gotten older, I started taking adrenals as a supplement.
Right.
Is that something that people should consider?
Yeah, taking an adrenal supplement can be good, but it's important to know what's in that supplement. And every person's body chemistry is different. So some people can do adaptogens that are really potent, like ginseng. That might be too strong for another person. So it's important to have a supplement that's going to work well with your particular body type or chemistry.
Well, I got mine from my naturopath.
Right, so that's
She
a
did
good
the whole
recommendation.
blood test. And
Right.
then,
Yeah.
But is adrenal fatigue more of an age thing?
No, not necessarily.
Oh,
And
so you
anyone
can-
at any age can suffer from adrenal fatigue. And this is
Okay.
essentially what we're talking about is exhaustion. So an exhausted body can't sleep because, we talked about this I think earlier, the sleeping body requires more energy than your whole daytime hours. You spend more energy at night sleeping, detoxifying, dreaming. All of the biological processes that happen at night require energy.
Right.
So if you're exhausted, you literally don't have the energy to sleep.
Wow.
So when I'm working with a client who has adrenal fatigue and I tell them what they need to do is rest, they always get really upset with me. Well,
Really?
I can't rest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you rest during the daytime and you do the sun gazing and you support your adrenals, eventually you will be able to. The next complaint I get from them is, now I just feel tired all the time. I'm like, you were already tired. You just didn't feel tired because you were rushing around on adrenaline.
Right.
Adrenaline's a potent drug.
Right.
So our whole goal is to increase serotonin, reduce adrenaline, support the adrenal glands, and then we talked about some supplements, including, you say you do tart cherry, right?
Yeah, so what I do is at night I'll put some tart cherry juice in, lemon and water and a tiny bit of stevia. It's like a big drink that but it's not that, I only do like a quarter of a cup of the cherry juice.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm doing enough or I'm drinking the right stuff.
I think it's really better to get a concentrated powdered supplement of the tart cherry. That way you're getting enough, and then just take whatever the recommendation is on the label.
Okay.
The tart cherry does not produce melatonin. It simply helps the conversion of serotonin into melatonin, because that's what happens as night falls. The serotonin you build during the daytime converts to melatonin to put you to sleep.
So we were talking about the kind of tart cherry juice. Is it Montmorency?
Yeah, it's just, go with the tart cherry. We're having a hard time pronouncing it.
Yes,
But it's a particular
really
kind
hard
of cherry.
to find, right?
No, it's out there. There's hundreds of herbal supplement companies that have it. It's not hard to find.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I talk to my friends and they say that they have the problem of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's all women that I talk to about this.
Right.
Do men have sleep
Oh, absolutely.
issues too, like women do? Is it a hormonal thing?
There is hormonal sleep problems for men. There is such a thing as menopause, and when my husband went
good.
through, yeah, I know.
We're sorry, misery loves company.
It's true, really. It's absolutely true. When my husband went through the menopause phase, he was not sleeping at night. He was perspiring through the night. I would wake up in the morning. Our bed looked like a tornado had hit it. I would be kicking him out of bed because it was like I was living with a maniac at that time, and it was all hormonal. And within about 2.5 years, that resolved.
From what did he do? What did you have him do?
Well, he doesn't do anything I tell him to do, so there wasn't much success with that. But what I would advise other men who will listen to me is to get your adrenal gland supported. Take a look at your hormones. I don't often recommend supplementing testosterone because it's real easy to go overboard on that.
Right.
So anything that you do hormonally, do only the minimal amount to get you over the hump, because menopause, along with menopause, is a natural process the body's supposed to go through. And if we try to prolong it or keep it from happening, such as women taking estrogen for many years, we're just going to end up with issues of inflammation and cancer, which were related to too much estrogen supplementation. So
it's just so hard to get through the hot flashes if you're not
Yeah.
getting a little bit of estrogen or,
right.
because it's just like, it's just brutal. I mean,
It
hot
is.
flashes are awful.
And okay, so that
Especially if
brings
you're working,
me that brings me all the way back to adrenal fatigue. The reason that women have a hard time with menopause is because their adrenals are already shot. Because here's the big secret. When you stop producing your estrogen through your ovaries, your adrenal glands take over.
Oh.
And if your adrenals are already shot, you're in deep doo-doo.
Right.
You're going to have a hard time.
Right.
So that's why women have a hard time with perimenopause. If your adrenals are well supported and you're getting plenty of rest, you'll sail right through it like it's nothing.
So adrenals are huge.
Huge.
Okay. That's,
Huge.
Yeah, something that I kind of knew, but I didn't
It's
know
the most
how
common
the
thing.
magnitude of it.
Yeah, it's the most common condition I work on with wellness clients.
Okay.
Almost every wellness client that comes in is suffering from some level of exhaustion. And so that's the first thing I work on addressing is that they're exhausted and they don't know it.
So if someone were to take a 15-minute rest, / nap a day, then they would technically sleep better every night?
Well, eventually.
Okay.
It takes
a
time.
while.
That's the thing to understand. It takes time.
Yeah, it's not just going to happen overnight.
Right. You
Okay.
have to really invest in it, which
Yeah.
also means taking at least one full day off a week, which
Right.
is a concept that's kind of gotten lost. When I was, I'm going to give away my age. I'm 65. When I was a young child, no businesses were open on Sundays.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Everything
the way it
was
when I was a
closed.
kid too. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
we had a barbecue in our backyard and
Yeah, we did
we
nothing but fun stuff
played
on
in
Sunday.
the swimming pool
Yeah.
or whatever, we did nothing but just relax and unwind, and people don't do that now. They're at the gym working out,
Yeah.
they're going
Yeah.
on their hikes, they're riding their mountain bikes like maniacs, tearing down the trail, knocking people over right and left, and they're not resting.
Right.
They're not resting.
Yeah.
So we have one cardinal rule at our house. On Sundays, we don't
Just,
do anything.
Yeah,
No
relax
house
and enjoy
cleaning,
yourself.
maybe putz in the garden a little bit, go for a walk, do some yoga, that's
Right.
it.
It's good advice.
Common sense.
Okay. So basically, the root cause of not getting enough sleep is stress, and that leads to adrenal fatigue.
Right, exactly.
So then, what can we do that's a natural supplement to, alleviate that?
To help.
And I know it takes time.
Right.
But, what can you do that, you can do consistently to help
Right,
that?
to sort of get you over the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's some very important things, including supplements, which we're gonna talk about. But it's also about getting to bed at a decent hour. Your best sleep happens before 11 o'clock at night. So if you're not going to bed until midnight, you're already short-circuiting yourself.
So 10 o'clock.
So no, we're talking like 8:39.
Oh, God.
In the wintertime, you should be sleeping, I know.
I don't think I could even fall asleep.
I know, because
That's
you're
the-
adrenal fatigued.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like my brain is just
At 8:30 at
still,
night.
wanting to be stimulated by the TV or reading
Well,
or
that's
something.
that's it. That is too much adrenaline.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us full circle. So the answer is get to bed earlier, even if you're not tired. I know nobody wants to hear this answer, but it
Yeah.
works. I have a client who will testify. She fought me for months, and then finally she realized, oh, this really is working.
Because I feel like I will then definitely wake up by like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
If I go to bed that early, then
Yeah.
then boom, I'm up at 1, and then I
Right.
can't fall back
And that might
asleep.
happen for a while, but
Oh.
eventually you will start sleeping a full 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
Okay, so then the next thing is get off of your electronic devices.
Yeah.
The blue light is very bad for overstimulating your brain.
Is
So-
watching TV? I mean, it's
A
not
little
blue
bit
light,
of
but
TV
it's-
early in the evening is fine,
okay.
but shut it off at a certain point before you go to bed, and have a nice long, at least an hour or so of wind down before you go to bed.
Right.
Drink the many herbal teas that are out there that help promote sleep.
Oh.
There are
teas.
herbal tinctures that include poppy, lavender, chamomile,
Oh,
lobelia, valerian, all very helpful for sleep,
Okay.
including tart cherry, which we've already talked about, magnesium, and then the all-time really helpful is tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid. It's naturally present in food, especially turkey. That's why everybody
I was
falls
gonna
asleep
say,
after
yeah,
Thanksgiving,
yeah.
right? Okay, because they're all full of tryptophan. So tryptophan is fine to take.
So it is. I always thought tryptophan was bad for you.
No, tryptophan's an amino acid, but people they think, Americans think if one is better, if one is good, 10 is better.
Yeah.
So just follow the directions on the label. Don't take any more than that. It's good to take those sleep supplements, the tart cherry.
Tryptophan is in a powder form?
In a capsule form.
A capsule,
It's an
okay.
amino acid. So
Okay.
you've got your melatonin, you've got your tart cherry, you've got your tryptophan.
Yeah, and
And
progesterone
then
if you're on
if
any
you're on
hormones.
progesterone, and then you have the various sleep herbs. You want to take all of those at least a half an hour before you go to bed, and then right before you go to bed, take that second capsule of tryptophan.
Huh.
And that should pretty much get you through the night.
But you don't want to take that whole long list of things every night, do you?
You will for a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
Well, it's basically four or five different things.
Yeah.
But they're natural. They're not, like we're not talking about something that's highly synthesized, and it's not a drug. Taking drugs to sleep is not the way to
Ambien
go.
or something like that.
Ambien, you'll be like, that's crazy.
Right.
You don't want to do that. It's very tempting to think, oh, I can do this for a while. But the problem is the sleep that you're getting from medication, including all of the over-the-counter or benzodiazepines, which doctors are very easy to prescribe for people for sleep, which are horribly addictive and harder to get off than heroin, are not giving you the deep REM sleep that you need and the deep state of sleep that you need. So you're asleep, you're knocked out, but you're not getting restorative sleep.
Sure.
And it's the restorative sleep that's going to heal the adrenals, that's going to make it easier for you to get to sleep. So it's a circle.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes somebody holding your hand to get you through it if you're really having a serious case of adrenal fatigue. You can't see the forest for the trees when you're in that state.
Right. Great. Well, all the things that I, didn't know about tryptophan, I just learned, which is really cool because I always thought that was not, good for you.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah, and the whole adrenal fatigue, I kind of knew a little bit about that, and I do supplement with adrenals, but she just taught me a heck of a lot more than I knew. So if you guys are having sleep problems, you can always refer back to this video. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
You're very welcome.
Awesome.
It's my pleasure.
She's just my new best friend.
I'm having so much fun doing these videos with you,
Good.
really. And I'm getting over being camera shy, so high five, sister.
The more you do it, the better you get at it, right? So thanks for watching, you guys. Hey, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Yeah. And we'll see you next week. Holistic Hottie, baby. If we're all holistic, we can be hot at any age.
That's right.
Bye-bye.